today. It's so windy out here. I don't even have the umbrella up because it's just whipping around in the wind and I can't do anything with it. And that sound you hear is the leaves in the trees back here. But I want to work on some of my containers, the Hypertufa containers that have dried up and started to crumble. I'm going to have to remove what's in them and put them in a new one. Hopefully the wind will die down and I can get some of that work done. Well, we abandoned that project last night because it was just too windy, and I decided to try it this morning. It rained most of the night. We're really wet out there, but the sun's come out, and I am going to try to get to this broken Hypertufa. Now let me show you the one that's deteriorated. It's this one right here. I don't know how many years old that is, but it's quite a few years, and it's just crumbling. See, I can just like pick at it and lift it up, and I don't know what causes that. I've had a few that do that. I am just going to pull this plant out. I think that's at least mostly, the John Creech sedum. Little sexangulaire in there. But I'm going to pull that plant out of there, and then I'm just going to discard this. Now, the bigger pot behind it, a big trough, is deteriorating a little bit. It's got some big cracks, but I think that can hold together for another year at least. Probably need to make a new one if I can handle one that big. But that sempervivin, the hens and chicks that the deer ate, it didn't rejuvenate at all. So I am going to work on this one, getting it pulled out of there. Now I've got one container to put pieces of the plant, and I got the other container for the discards of the Hypertufa. That's the bowl. In a previous video, I showed you where I thought the deer may have stepped on it and just crunched it in half. This is what we're going to clean out. Okay, so first of all, I want to get the plant out. And since we've had rain, it should be fairly easy to lift under there and just get the whole thing. Oh yeah, look. Look at that. Got the whole thing. And I'm gonna lay it right there, because it can be transplanted either under a tree or cut and put into other bowls. But this is what the pieces look like. You can see where it has split off right there. So I'm just going to lift that and put it into the discard bowl. Wow, it really exposes how the bottom part of that big trough is deteriorating. But we're just going to try to maybe shore that up a little. Look at the big giant. I don't know if you'll be able to see that spider. There's a big old spider in there. Let's see if I can. Right here. Big one. But anyway, you can see how deteriorated that is. Hopefully, I can hold that another year. Now let me find a replacement for this spot. And I did, there were two big urns on each side here, and I've pulled them out. It's only been a year, And they've deteriorated so much from that painting. I'm just going to discard these, get rid of them. If I can find somebody who wants them and wants to try the restoration, but I've had these for 10 years or more. And the shrubbery is going to go into my front pots, but we'll do that on another video. But I need to find an adequate container to put over there. That's a nice big one. That would probably take up a lot of room. Or, I don't know, this one, the squirrels have been at it pretty bad. How about I try a couple of different ones? So let me see. It looks pretty good. And I don't remember what was planted in this. I'll have to look back on some of my old videos. But it possibly was one of the things that died out, like the mizu or codifolia. I don't remember what it was. But I will put something else there. And then in this spot, I have one of those little donut rings where I set a bowl on top. So I'm going to need to get a little bit smaller bowl for that spot. How about that one? Maybe I better put the one behind there before I place this one, because I can't get to it. I wonder if I can get this big one over in there. It's kind of heavy. I got it. I can just get over there. Okay, I need to put a little bit of rock under this side. There. Could use a small one back in there. I got those two. Could probably use a small one there. See if I have anything adequate for that spot. I think maybe I'll put one of the pumpkins back there, if I can reach it. Well, let me just set it right there for now. I'm gonna put one right there on that corner. Okay, there. That feels pretty level. And the pumpkin, I need to set back in there. Let me see if I can get it back in there. I need one right there. Put him there. And then this one circle. And I probably have to balance a few of these by wedging the rocks a little bit sideways. But that looks good. That urn is probably going to go too. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is. Maybe it's runoff, but I can't get a sedum to grow in there. There's a nice big weed, but that sedum won't grow. Maybe it has some runoff from the roof of the barn, but I'll deal with that. So I think that looks better. I put the draped Hypertufa back in there, and I'm going to direct the Angelina to grow backwards. And it can spill out and spread all over the rock. That'll be just fine. But I'll work on that. And now the rest of these just need to be replanted, refreshed, and trimmed. See, this one's trying to come back up through the Sunsparkler Wildfire or Firecracker. Don't remember which one it is. And I pulled the hosta out of this last year. So maybe it'll have the time to get all enriched. Okay, I gotta work on the rest of this now. Now some, once I transplant them, I'm gonna take them over to the rock bed that I created by the umbrella. But for now, that's cleared out a lot. I don't know what to do with my little stools. This will be gone. That's one of my half blocks that I used as sort of like a pedestal. Now that one is so heavy to move. I don't know what I'm going to do with that until my son comes. He would have to move that for me because it's just more than I can lift. And then the old bird bath, I may try to just make a moss garden out of it somewhere. But at least that's got some of this done. And I think it's going to look good. Looks nice. And I'll have time to get that into the trash pickup for tomorrow. But thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.